All right, welcome to another Sunday night edition of Major League TagPro on Ranger Radio. Thanks for joining me tonight. We have the All Caps taking on the Knights of Capalot, and they will be playing our final regular season game on Thinking with Portals and Smirk. So this is a very important matchup in terms of playoff positioning. If we take a look at the current standings through the end of last week, currently right now in the Eastern Conference, Knights of Capalot are hanging on to this sixth spot right now with 21 points. So they're trying to hold off KG Ballers, who are threatening for that spot. All Caps, as many folks know, did not opt to replay the games that were related to the Botgate 2015. So with 11 points, even 2 wins today would not pass the Knights of Capalot. So they are eliminated from the playoffs. However, the Knights of Capalot do have a lot to play for here, needing to hold off the KGB. Looking at the scores so far, the KGB game has not yet started, so we'll check in periodically and see if that game has started during this match. Otherwise, looks like both groups are ready to go. I'll let them know stream is, ready. Yeah, stream is up and ready. That's what I meant to say. So tonight's beer, this one's a special one. Pulled this out of Rangers beer collection. Tonight's beer is a 2014 Velvet Merkin. Now, the Velvet Merkin is a bourbon barrel-aged version of their Velvet Merlin, which is an oatmeal stout. What's interesting is that Velvet Merlin originally wasn't sold. It was something that was just made as a base to produce this beer. So the first year Velvet Merkin came out, I think it was 2012, there was a demand for the non-barrel-aged version. People wanted to try the base beer and be able to compare it. So Velvet Merlin, which is the non-barrel-aged version, started being sold in stores, I think maybe last year or this year, and it's okay. It has a very kind of bland, I mean, this is going to sound like a cop-out. Hold on one second. Let them know that we're ready. It's going to sound like a cop-out, but it has a very bland, almost oatmeal flavor, which if you've had a lot of oatmeal stouts, they don't literally always taste like oatmeal. Usually they taste kind of chocolatey. But the Merlin really needs the barrel aging. Now, what's great about that is it's a fairly thin beer. So the barrel aging really, you taste a lot of barrel on it. And at 8.5%, that's actually not that much for Firestone Walker's barrel aging program. So it looks like we're getting started here and right on time. In red, we have the All Caps, Helen Keller, Yossarian, Bowtie, and Koala. Taking on the Knights of Capalot, we have Sir Cam Watts, Macon Bacon, Kanadzian, and Solf. So away we go. So Bowtie grabbed and looks like he's going to be able to get out of base ahead of two. They have to figure out what to do about Solf, and Kanadzian's still there in the way. Yossarian already D'ing up that portal in case that regrab comes. So Bowtie is just going to stay alive, really not being pursued too hard right now. He's still ahead of two. Kanadzian gets spiked, so this could be a cap, and it is. Nice job for Bowtie. First points on the board going to the All Caps, 1-0. So Bowtie is able to grab, and looks like he's going to have to try to get past Kanadzian there. Helen Keller with a nice boost block there. And Sir Cam Watts was pushing just enough on that portal to deny Bowtie the cap. He must have just barely got the edge of him. So Yossarian's threatening to boost, but winds up having to wait on it, and he's going to go through the portals one more time to get ahead of three. Sir Cam Watts with a very nice boost. Good return. So Bowtie again was almost ahead of three, but winds up getting contained. He says what in the chat once again. Second time he probably feels like he was denied, and looks like Sir Cam Watts is going to be able to lock that one in. Nice job for Sir Cam Watts. Bowtie just not able to get there in time to get regrab. So 8.5 minutes in, all tied up at 1. So Solf's going to try to set up the blocks to get past Koala, given that Yas was on the portal, but still not out of harm's way yet, choosing to kiss. Another round of pups will be spawning here in just a moment. Helen Keller with an opportunity to cap, trying to get past Macon Bacon, and the pups do spawn, but a little bit too late for either flag carrier to really make use of them. But Bowtie able to grab a couple of juke juicers, and Sir Camelot's getting a rolling bomb. So Solf's probably going to push this one here, given that Sir Camelot's does have a rolling bomb on regrab. Returned for Cap for a moment there, but looks like Camelot's rolling bomb is now out. And Solf ultimately not able to cap there, so possibly a missed opportunity. Yosk is going to head back to mid here. Really only being chased by Solf. Meanwhile, Sir Camelot's bombing around mid. Both teams doing a good job. Their flag carriers are staying alive. Definitely not always the easiest map to contain on, but those bombs can really wreak havoc. Helen Keller able to get out ahead of one. Viserion trying to grab a TagPro there, but ultimately bombing. So Helen Keller grabs it and goes flag pro and gets sandwiched in between Making Bacon and Sir Camelot's. Bowtie's going to be out ahead of two. Helen Keller going to try to provide some TagPro coverage here. And that portal just isn't there in time for Bowtie. Camelot's able to track him down. I'm expecting a what? Making Bacon able to cap off of that. So now 3-1 in favor of the Knights of Capalot. Again, I mentioned this right when the stream went live, but Knights of Capalot currently in that 6th spot, trying to hold on. If they're able to sweep today, they do control their own destiny. They would definitely be in. But if they give up either of these games, then they do allow the potential for the KG Ballers to sneak in. KG Ballers only down three match points right now, and ahead on Cap Diff prior to this match anyway. So definitely a lot could happen with these two teams. Solf bombing around mid, and Koala might have an opportunity here if they're able to return Solf, but that return just doesn't come in time, and both flag carriers just going to buy some time for themselves here. I think Koala might have been looking for the kiss, but then now she's running away and gets returned. So Bowtie with the TagPro, well, TagPro lead is not on, but Bowtie's still going to be able to get out ahead of 3 here. Staying alive, and very nice return there. Koala able to deliver and provide the return that Bowtie needed. And just go through that portal. Oh, you had that. The timing was a little bit off there. Helen Keller actually could have capped there, but would have required a lot of coordination with the team, and probably wasn't obvious that was going to be a cap from in-game. So 4.5 minutes left in the first half of this game. Currently 3-2 in favor of the Knights of Capalot. Sir Camelot's able to boost past Helen Keller. Settles for a kiss here. Viserion with some fancy footwork, able to get out of 3. Making Bacon on Ree, but Kanadzian might have a drop on him. Yes, he does. Nice snipe there from Nance. A little bit of a miscommunication. Making Bacon still managing to stay alive, though. But Helen Keller ultimately able to track him down. Sir Camelot's going to be able to get out ahead of 3 here. Carefully avoiding that portal with Bowtie sitting right on the other end. Oh, and they got a reset over in the Knights of Capalot base, but just a failed boost, and then Helen Keller able to get the return. That could have been a cap for KSC. 3.5 minutes left to go. Helen Keller still trying to waltz towards the flag tile, but now surrounded by 3. Gets returned. Viserion with another nice snipe. And Koala is able to get base cleared out. Opportunity for Bowtie. He's going to nice block there from Koala, allowing Bowtie to boost into the portal and cap. Now tied at 3 with 3 minutes left to go in the first half. Bowtie out ahead of 2. And Koala playing some very nice no grab here. Keeping Solf off the flag. Pup spawning. Both flags back in base, so now that everybody has pups, they're armed up for the next 2.5 minutes. Not really, but wouldn't that be nice if you had a TagPro for the rest of the match? Solf trying to juke around Koala here, and manages to do it. Gets out ahead of Koala, but unfortunately boosts right into Sir Camelots, who accidentally bumps flag right into the return. Helen Keller just being patient here. Sir Camelot's taking a really nice angle to cut Helen Keller off. Just boosted right for that 3-tile wide space. Flag carrier's threatening the kiss there, but Canadian running away. Cam able to grab a TagPro and a rolling bomb, so he'll have Superman. Looks like he's probably going to take this back on regrab, communicating to Making Bacon to go ahead and move. So Cam with an opportunity here. Rolling bomb still not extinguished. Waiting on his team to get this return on Yossarian. It just doesn't happen, and Cam gets his rolling bomb blast actually pushes him into the spike. Koala forcing a kiss, and both teams have a regrab. So Helen Keller's going to get out ahead of 2. Does a nice job with the boost, but they have to return Solf and do something about that re if they want to cap. Meanwhile, Solf doing a good job avoiding the tag from Koala. She's going to try to snipe at him here, but misses. And both flag carriers kiss. So 45 seconds left in the half, still tied at 3. Bowtie biding his time, trying to kick around Solf here, but Making Bacon did a nice job guarding that portal, which forced him to do that. Bowtie going flag pro, bombing himself towards Sir Camelot's, and at this point, it's just going to take another lap through base. Canadian nice positioning on that return against Bowtie. So Helen Keller is going to have to hurry here. 8 seconds left. Going to try to find the quickest path to the flag tile. Soft boosts all around and gets a nice return. All right, so we'll finish that half tied at 3. Good play from both teams, always very exciting. Koala with 18 returns. She's really, showing why she was such a great pickup for the All Caps. And Bowtie with 3 caps in the first half. On the other side of the map, Canadian with 14 returns, and Cam Watson Making Bacon with 8 and 9 returns each. So both teams definitely doing a great job of spreading the wealth around. Switch back to our group page. So just checking in on scores. Looks like School of Hard Blocks versus Rectiles. Rectiles were able to, assuming that this is a complete half, they won at 8-6. I'm not sure if that half is still in progress or not. So it does look like Wasatch Team and the Ghost Boosters, at least they split the first game, and if this second game score is final, then they actually split both. So that's a pretty amazing result. Time Boy commenting, Helen, why you no cap? So Dink and Flicka, the brewery, and I'm not sure who that is in game, but the brewery that makes this beer, it's Firestone Walker. I drink a lot of their barrel-aged beers. They're in Central California. They have a great barrel aging program. Their brewmaster is the guy who was originally the brewmaster at Goose Island here in Chicago, Matt Brindleson, and he moved out to Firestone Walker, I want to say in like 2008 or 2009, and so they really came on the scene, about 6-7 years ago in terms of all of their beers, but their barrel-aged beers are really what they're known for. Parabola is one of the best ones. It's actually probably my favorite beer in the world. I guess it is probably. It's definitely top 5. And they recently came out about 2 weeks ago with their 2015 version of Parabola. Parabola is a barrel-aged imperial stout, but the way that they make Parabola, see, Firestone Walker is kind of in the middle of wine country. They actually blend the wines. I should say they blend the beers the same way that they blend the wines. So like the winemakers will actually help consult with Firestone Walker on like how much of each barrel to use. Oh shit, they're waiting on me. Yep, good to go. All right, so we are starting. Again, tied at 3. We'll switch back to our in-game view. But yeah, so Firestone Walker makes a ton of really good beers. I actually cracked this open, but I haven't even poured it yet. So I'm going to pour a little bit of this Velvet Merkin. I've had this before, but I'm still going to kind of review it for you like I haven't. So Rolling Bomb and 2 Juke Juices. Koala pointing right at either one of those Juke Juices. All caps over on blue now. Knights of Capalot on red. Koala does indeed grab one of the Juke Juices. Bowtie gets the other, and nobody grabbing that Rolling Bomb. So, look for a second like Koala was going to be able to go get it and Rolling Bomb up, but Kanazian able to force her to go a different way. He gets the return in, gets the Rolling Bomb. Both flags back in base. All pups gone, so we'll get to see some nice old-fashioned TagPro here. No pups. So Yossarian doing a great job manning that defensive position, both guarding the portal as well as sitting on the boost. But ultimately, Solf may have an opportunity here, and does. Solf, first cap of the second half, making this a 1-cap lead, 4-3 for the Knights of Capalot. So Sir Camelot's doing a nice job juking around Helen Keller, but Helen does get that return. Bowtie had a nice boost there, was able to avoid Kanazian, so he's still out ahead of 3, but they're going to have to return Solf here if they want any chance of a cap. And Bowtie sat on that flag tile as long as he could, but ultimately had to retreat. Koala with a Rolling Bomb gets either double tapped or that Rolling Bomb just went out. I'm not sure which, but Making Bacon able to get a nice return there on her. Cam Watts is going to go Flag Pro. And Yossarian's going to be able to lock that one in. No additional regrab in place. That grab by the all caps just didn't last long enough to allow a regrab to get there. So tied up once again now at 4. Cam Watts now working against Yossarian and Koala. Solf there to take out the portal, and is going to be able to go get regrab as well. Cam might be thinking about going and grabbing that Rolling Bomb, and does. Yossarian able to hit that bomb, and that's going to send Cam Watts flying. But he's still going to be able to... Oh, he misses the boost there. I'm not sure if he was going for it or not, but looked like he was going to be able to get out ahead of everybody there. And should just be able to walk this one to the... Oh! Wow. That was close. That looked like a cap the whole way, but just ultimately gets returned there at the last moment. So Koala's going to take a lap here. She had an opportunity, but it just didn't materialize. Nobody was able to get that return on Kanazian in time. 7 minutes left to go in the second half of our first game. Still tied at 4. Knights of Capalot doing everything they can to hold on to the 6th and final spot in the Eastern Conference. All caps just playing TagPro, just showing everybody that they're a better team than their record indicates. Sir Cam Watts now circling around mid, going to go grab a Juke Juice. Solf, nice patience on that boost, waits until Bowtie's out of position, but Yossarian able to track Solf down. That was kind of an interesting choice. It looked like the blocks there were sufficient to allow Koala to just walk that through the portal, but then she went towards the flag tile, so I might have to look at that again later, but I feel like she might have just left the cap on the table. Yossarian getting a little bit held up there by Koala and gets returned by Kanazian and Solf together. Cam Watts still managing to stay alive. Wow. I don't know how he got past Bowtie and Helen Keller there. That was amazing, but I mean, nothing came of it, but that was, something weird happened there with the jukes. That was incredible. So blue flag back in base now, both flags back. We have a reset. Kanadzian able to grab a rolling bomb and juke juice combo, so he's going to try to see if he can grab and get out, but Capalot's able to provide the blocks, and Kanadzian able to get past Yossarian here for the moment, but Yas still in front again. Wow, and just like a laser beam, just goes straight for him. Nice return there from Yas. Solf, great positioning, blocking that boost, so Bowtie just couldn't possibly get past him. We have a kiss, and nice snipe there from Bowtie. Also able to go back and get regrab. Oh, nice. What a nice angle there taken by Yossarian. Able to boost into the block and use that to get in front. Even when you think he's beat, he's not beat. Pretty amazing. So Bowtie is going to be able to circle back towards his side of the map, but Sir Camelot's with a rolling bomb, so Bowtie just going to bide some time and go in circles. Kanadzian the only one chasing right now. Good patience here from Bowtie, just doing laps. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Camelot starts walking towards the flag, but Koala jumps in to get regrab and is able to get the tag instead. Just over 4 minutes left to go. This game is still tied at 4. This is good practice, I suppose you could say, for all the playoff teams who are now going to be playing Thinking with Portals in the playoffs. So we have not seen the last of TWP. So Yossarian might have an opportunity here. Boosts right into the bomb, and that blows Kanadzian a little bit out of the way, but he's going to have to do the same thing, and not quite as lucky with it this time. Kanadzian able to stay in front. Meanwhile, Solf trying to juke around Helen Keller manages to do it. That juke juice doesn't hurt, but Helen Keller with a nice bomb snipe. Nice snipe from Yossarian. So just over 3 minutes left to go, still tied at 4. Helen Keller working against Macon Bacon, who also makes a nice bomb snipe. So good use of bombs by both teams, primarily defensively. We've seen a lot of usage of the bombs, but we've also seen the flag carriers using those bombs to create space. Koala with a nice snipe, and Bowtie out ahead of 4. But Camelot's staying alive long enough for Macon Bacon to get there, and Bowtie circles back, goes through the portal, and gets a nice cap. So 1 cap lead for the all caps, 5-4. So Koala accidentally bombs her teammate away from the TagPro, but then Helen Keller able to grab that TagPro. So going to try to use that. Looked like there might have been a TagPro lead, but then Helen Keller looks like there was an intention to boost back for a regrab and then boost right in the spike. Meanwhile, Solf able to get around Helen, working against Helen and Yas right now. Flag carrier's kiss. Just over 2 minutes left to go in this exciting, frenetically paced game. Almost impossible to comment on all the things going on, but currently a 1 cap lead for the all caps. Up 5-4 against the Knights of Capalot, who really want to try to sweep today to secure themselves a playoff spot. TagPro spawning mid, Helen Keller able to grab it. So it looks like Bowtie's going to be able to take this one in, and not sure if this is the nail in the coffin yet. Anything can happen on such a fast-paced map, but 2 caps up with a minute and a half left to go. Bowtie has the flag once again. Cam had a TagPro, could have provided a lead, but had to wait a little bit too long for an offensive partner to get there. Meanwhile, Solf working against 3, manages to evade Yossarian's snipe, but Helen Keller able to track him down. It looks like Cam's going to take a lap, go the other direction. And he might just go through the portal again here. Yeah, able to use that to get around 2. Nice boost there from Camelot's. And this could be a cap. This could, oh, nice. Good job there, good patience. Usarian tried to save the day there, but ultimately boosted straight into the back portal, which they were covering. And wow, another cap so fast. Oh my God, that happened so quickly I couldn't even commentate what happened there, but that regrab immediately turned into a cap. So they've tied this game. And again, just like I said a moment ago, no way to count anybody out on this map. It's so fast paced. So Knights of Capalot doing everything possible to get themselves some points so they can control their playoff destiny. 7 seconds left. 5 seconds. Anything can happen.
3, 2, 1.
And that would have been an amazing cap to end it, but ultimately looked like Usarian was on regrab there, sitting on the portal. So that game will end in a tie. So that'll be a final score of 6-6. That extra point will help the Knights of Capalot to try to at least be a tiebreaker if the KG Ballers were able to win both of their games and they only won one of them or something like that. So it's a very important point. Go ahead and switch back to our in-group page. So few comments on the Velvet Merkin. I went ahead and poured it. The foam on it has kind of gone down a little bit since I poured it right before we started, but that's good for a beer like this. You really want it to kind of mellow out. I put it in the fridge for a little while, but I didn't want it to get ice cold. Something like this you want to drink at closer to about 50 to 55 degrees. So it's a good thing to kind of pour it, let it air out, warm up a little bit. In fact, sometimes I'll even kind of put my hands around the glass just to kind of warm it. But it's sort of like a caramel brown. It's a little bit thinner than what you would expect to see from most barrel-aged beers, but again, it's only 8.5% ABV. So give you a few comments on kind of the smell and taste. So you do really smell the barrel very heavily on this. They tend to like to use Elijah Craig and Jim Beam barrels. There was a version of this once that had Pappy Van Winkle barrels. Hold on one second. Go ahead and tree this one more time just to make sure we get the right amount of hype on this. And I'm going to do a little copy paste action. All right, there we go. All right, so yeah, you smell a lot of the barrel on this one. It's a delicious smell. I mean, if you really like bourbon, you will really like bourbon barrel aged beers. I'm gonna take a sip of this and tell you what I think. I already know what I think, but I'll take. Oh wow, that's good. That is delicious. You get a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of caramel. Not that much chocolate. That's sort of one change from years past, is that Velvet Merkin used to be a little bit chocolatey, but this 2014 version, you get a lot of vanilla off of it. The vanilla and chocolate flavors have a lot to do with the barrels that they use. For this year, I believe they used a certain amount of rye barrels in addition to bourbon, so you get a little more of that vanilla character. But just outstanding. This is like one of my probably top 10, 20 favorite beers. We'll jump over to the Twitch chat, see what people are saying. So, Time Boy commenting, Bowtie could have showboated. Yeah, could have. That'd have been nice. We have a rack attack going on. The raccoons are getting a little out of control in the chat, but no, that's good. You can always use raccoons. Can't have enough raccoons. All right, so the map has been changed to Smirk finally. So looks like we have 4 on each team. Everybody's typing in all caps now, including the team that is not the all caps. Wow, just a lot of anger here in the chat. We'll jump over to MLTP.live, see if we can see what they're talking about here. So looks like, yeah, indeed, the School of Hard Blocks versus Rectile scores look the same as the All Caps versus Knights of Capalot scores. I'm not sure if what they're saying is true, that they actually overwrote the script. So some blame here being passed around, whether that was Dino's fault or Nads' fault. Don't really know whose fault it is, but I'm sure they'll get this all straightened out. Everybody probably has all of the CSVs or whatever. All right. All right, and away we go. Looks like we'll be launching. So this will be a very exciting map on very exciting game on this map. I know that the game one matchups on Smirk were pretty much good across the board, so it's kind of fun to see things come full circle in week 9 and end the season the way we started it on, one of our most common, most preferred maps. I'm gonna drink some more beer. Let's see whether or not they ever launch this. Oh, this is good. I bought like 6 bottles of this when it came out. I went around and I drove out to this place where they had like the guy was selling like pretty much a whole case of it, and he was trying to kind of be sneaky and keep him behind the counter. But I've been in there a few times before, and he just kind of hooked me up. He was like, "Ranger, here's 6 bottles of your favorite beer." I said, "Thank you." Except he didn't call me Ranger. That would have been weird. So it looks like we're in game. Switch back to our zoomed in view. All right, Smirk. I've never really thought that this looks like a Smirk. I mean, I get it, but it's more of like a derp face. Should call it map derp face. All right, so Sir Camelot's with a rolling bomb. I'm going to try to grab against Koala here, and shouldn't have any trouble making the grab, but just trying not to use that bomb. Solf. Oh, wow. Solf was just pushing Yossarian off, but Koala does a nice job boosting into Solf and getting that button. So that was an opportunity that Koala quickly put an end to. Nice play from Koala. So Solf and Sir Camelot's going to try to work together to get Cam out of base. Yossarian was sitting on that boost. I really don't think it was going to matter. So Solf tries to grab 1v2 and not able to get out either. Meanwhile, the red flag has not disappeared from the base since that first opening play of the game. Just some great no grab being played by Making Bacon and Kanadzian. Bowtie and Helen Keller just being very careful and not doing anything too risky. Meanwhile, Sir Camelot's going to boost in, and Bowtie, good positioning there, good offensive D to prevent that cap. In a lot of similar situations, that would have been a cap, so Bowtie does a good job to prevent it. Meanwhile, Solf's going to be able to sneak past Helen Keller, who, with the juke juice, kind of overcommits. Meanwhile, Kanadzian has a rolling bomb with a couple more seconds, so he's just going to boost right at this flag tile. And he must have known that was about to go out. He played that very carefully and waited for the blocks, because that rolling bomb actually would have gone out before he could have boosted into it anyway. So very nice play there from Kanadzian. 1 cap lead for the Knights of Capalot against the All Caps. Nice snipe from Helen Keller. Meanwhile, Bowtie could be out against ahead of 3 here, out ahead of 4, and all he has to do is hit this. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Bowtie trying to be patient here. Gets tracked down by Making Bacon. That was, oh no. Kind of made that same error that a lot of folks make on this map, where you're coming at it at a 45-degree angle, and that flag tile is not really 45 degrees. It's a little bit more north of that, so misses the boost there, and not able to capitalize. Meanwhile, Bowtie flacciding, so 1-0 in favor of the Knights of Capalot so far, who made a great comeback on Thinking with Portals. They were down 2 with about 1:20 left to go, and capped twice in about 40 seconds to tie that match up and get that critical point that they need for playoff positioning. Meanwhile, Solf out ahead of 3, and if they can just oh, Nice. Koala, there's nothing you could do against that. That boost respawned, and Koala was able to hit it, so nice snipe there from her. Meanwhile, Sir Camelot's out ahead of 2, ahead of 3. Helen Keller was waiting on a pup, so luckily for Helen, able to get back on regrab before anything bad happened there. Koala probably communicating, indicating that she was alive and well, and to go ahead and get that pup. Meanwhile, Macon Bacon with good determination gets a tag on Helen Keller, and Solf will be able to walk this one in, so that regrab just wasn't quite in place in time for the all caps, and Knights of Capalot punishing them for that, taking a 2-0 lead. Meanwhile, Solf grabbing against 3. Yossarian's going to be able to boost out ahead of 3, but Sir Camelot's well positioned there to be able to get the return. Both flags back in base. Just about 4 minutes into our first half. 2-0 lead for the Knights. Nice job there from Solf, anticipating right where he needed to be to get that return. But Helen Keller able to get out, and looks like probably just going to grab this TagPro and die, but will be able to help join the chase here. Meanwhile, Solf also going flag pro. Bowtie boosted into the flag, so we have a battle of the flag pros. Solf working against Koala. Knadzian able to put a nice block on her, and Solf jukes past Helen Keller, so both flag carriers doing a good job evading the tag, but ultimately Bowtie gets tracked down. Halfway through our first half, 2-0 in favor of the Knights of Capalot. Looks like Sir Camelot gets tracked there, and Yossarian has an opportunity here if they can get back in time to get Solf, and looks like Solf's going to be able to sneak past Bowtie, so Yas goes ahead and kisses. Helen Keller avoiding a unfortunate date with the spike there and able to grab a rolling bomb. This could be an opportunity if they can get Solf here. And Yossarian missed that snipe, but Solf still gets popped, so that does indeed turn into a cap for the all caps, who are now only down 1. So Knadzian just sitting there being very patient with his rolling bomb, which now expires. Meanwhile, Koala's going to have to evade Macon Bacon snipe, and does so. And she's going to be ahead of 4, but there's nowhere near a return yet on Solf, so Koala has to backtrack, and both flag carriers back in open space. Both teams with regrab again. Oh, Koala probably thought about getting that button, but just wasn't able to get it in time, so Macon Bacon able to follow her through. Meanwhile, Yossarian going to grab a TagPro. Helen Keller going to grab a Juke Juice, and Koala was waiting on the 3rd pup, so good pup awareness there from the all caps. Knadzian able to sneak in and get that rolling bomb ultimately. Oh, that Velvet Merkin is so good. Just over 3 minutes left to go in the first half. Currently a 2-1 lead in favor of the Knights of Capalot. Knadzian with a nice bank shot snipe. We have a reset. Both teams starting to think about pups. It's a little bit early for that. Sir Camelot's probably just going to abandon this grab and try to go get pups, but now 1v3. No, he's still working on that flag, and ultimately Yossarian able to grab that pup. Helen Keller able to grab rolling bomb, and Solf able to grab the Juke Juice, so 2-1 power up advantage there in favor of the all caps. Bowtie tries to sneak past through the button, but not able to make that work. We saw some very exciting matchups today in the ELTP quarterfinals. I don't know if any of our viewers got to see that, but dead man, just putting on a clinic. Solf able to take a nice boost up top, and there were great blocks in base by making Bacon and Kanazian to part the sea for him and let him in. So that was a nice cap there for the Knights of Capalot. Sir Camelot's boosting straight into Helen Keller. But yeah, that ELTP quarterfinal match, it was Tagenham versus the TagPro Rangers, and there was just a very exciting end to the first game where the TagPro Rangers were down 1 with Solf, the nice captain. We're down 1 with I think like a minute left or 30 seconds left or something, and they capped twice. It was incredible. It was like all the pups that they needed just showed up at the right times. They got a TagPro and a rolling bomb, and it was like everything they needed showed up at just the right time. And then in game 2 of the matchup, they demolished the other team. The Rangers won by like 10 or 11. So, little known fact, but I'm actually an honorary member of the TagPro Rangers, given that my name is Ranger. So that I've got that going for me. So 4-1 in favor of the Knights of Capalot. Solf doing a great job offensively today, but the defense also just doing a great job providing those opportunities. Meanwhile, Solf with a little stutter step there and able to evade Yas's snipe. But behind 3, it's going to be kind of tough here. Might have had a chance if he was able to sneak past Koala there, because that boost would have gotten him most of the way to the flag tile. 26 seconds left to go in the half. Camelot's with a rolling bomb, gets diffused, and that's probably going to do it for this attempt. Meanwhile, Solf's going to be able to go grab another rolling bomb. So these pups are really happening at the right times and places for the Knights of Capalot right now. But Yossarian able to get past Sir Camelot's, and
3.
Solf's going to sit on that flag tile and wait, but return just doesn't quite come in time. So 4-1 advantage in favor of the Knights of Capalot, who are making a statement in this first half on Smirk. Still another 10 minutes of exciting TagPro left to come. We'll jump back over to our Twitch chat. Oh, there's a lot of raccoons now. That's getting nutty. So a little bit of comment about, I guess I don't remember the play exactly, but there's some commentary about the boost, whether the boost spawned. Matrix commenting Nads was a hair behind him. I guess we're commenting on versus Bowtie. So he couldn't turn 3 to take the boost straight to flag. Okay. We'll have to go back and look at that after the game, because I think that was an interesting play that Timeboy and Matrix are commenting on. So 10 minutes of game time left to go. 4-1 in favor of the Knights of Capalot. We'll check our scoreboard real quick, see what we see. So the KG Ballers punishing the Pirates. It looks like 7-1 in the first half. So KG Ballers, if they're able to sweep here, then it's going to really make a difference whether or not the Knights of Capalot win this game or not. Because the Knights of Capalot had a 3-point lead on the KG Ballers going into this. So if KG Ballers were to get 6 points, and we know that the Knights of Capalot already got 1 point from the tie, they would need to win this game. So this is still a very important game in terms of who makes the playoffs. And that of course assumes that the KG Ballers sweep. If they don't sweep, then this discussion becomes probably moot, because if they were only able to win one, yeah, they would need to win one and tie the other. So a little bit of discussion about whether or not people are throwing the game. I don't think anybody's throwing the game. I don't think there's any collusion in this match. Can't speak for all the others, but this match, no collusion. I'm going to go ahead and pour a second glass of this Velvet Merkin. Man, I'm glad I have like 5 more bottles of this. So we got a TagPro mid, TagPro right, and Juke Juice left.
3, 2, 1.
All right, so both of those TagPros going to the Knights of Capalot. One's going to stay, looks like back on. No, it looks like they're both going offense. Looked like Cam was going to stay D with that, but he chooses to go out there and try to support Solf. Meanwhile, Soft Knight able to get out past 2, and Cam grabs against 2 here and gets quickly returned. So a couple of tag pros. Doesn't look like that's going to lead to anything immediately for the Knights of Capalot, who are up 4-1. Soft grabbing and able to get past Koala here. Has a lot of space there. Yas just giving a very wide berth, but Koala and Yas just being very careful and containing well there. Both flags back in base. So Solf out top. Koala takes a nice angle there on Solf though. Looks like it looked for a second like she was going to have that return nailed, but they got into the blue team tiles and Solf picked up a little bit of speed. So Bowtie working one-on-one. Solf able to get a nice solo return there. Meanwhile, Cam Watts had an opportunity, but Yossarian took a great angle to cut him off. So 8 minutes left in our match. Still a 4-1 lead in favor of the Knights of Capalot. Pup spawning. Koala and Bowtie both able to get Juke Juices, and Helen Keller able to get a Tag Pro. So all 3 of those pups going with the all caps. Meanwhile, Bowtie with an opportunity. Making Bacon trying to cut off there, and a little bit of traffic there. So Bowtie just, I think in frustration, just tries to boost through and goes straight into Kanadzian. Helen Keller with an opportunity, but Cam Watts was in front. I thought Helen Keller might have tried to just boost straight at that flag tile, but plays it patiently, waits, tries to get the blocks, but it just doesn't pan out. Koala doing a great job pushing Kanadzian off that button, able to get another return, and the blocks are there. Will they be real? Oh, the timing just wasn't real. Bowtie rolled right over that flag tile, but return just doesn't come in time. Meanwhile, making Bacon out ahead of 4, but Bowtie had the velocity to be able to track him down and get that return. Helen Keller going flag pro. Tag pro also going to the Knights of Capalot in the name of Sir Cam Watts. All right, so it looks like we have a sub here. Ball Don't Lie coming in for Helen Keller, looks like. So Ball Don't Lie is going to get a little bit of action. They're referring to him as Chaz. Apparently that is his nickname. I've heard a lot about Chaz recently. So Kanadzian all by himself up top. Nobody anywhere near him. Kanadzian able to boost straight at the flag tile. Ball Don't Lie tried to cut off his path, but just wasn't quite there in time and wasn't on regrab. So a little bit of a miscommunication there. And Knights of Capalot able to add to their lead, now up 5-1. Ball Don't Lie grabbing a Juke Juice mid. Soft staying alive there. Cam Watts providing cover with the Tag Pro, and yeah, it's returned for Cap for days now here if they can. Yeah, they're not going to get there quite in time. Ball Don't Lie now sitting firmly on Ree, and Koala doing a great job staying alive. She does finally get tracked down, but I thought they'd have the return on her a few seconds ago. She was able to stay alive a lot longer than most balls would. So Ball Don't Lie going to head back towards the flag tile. The returns just aren't quite there, so he's going to accept the kiss. Bowtie out ahead of 2. So this could be an opportunity. Blocks are there. Let's see which pathway he takes. He goes off the back wall. Just not able to pump the brakes quite enough to be able to stop and head for that flag tile. Wow, God spawns. Canadian able to, oh wow, Canadian able to get a gift from the heavens with a rolling bomb, but then gets double tapped by Koala. So nice job there on that double tap return. Meanwhile, Ball Don't Lie was able to grab a rolling bomb, I believe, at right. So he's just dancing around mid and gets his own return, but they're going to have to do a lot here with all of those blue balls on the left side of the map. Meanwhile, Making Bacon out, and Koala tries to bomb in his way, but slows him down enough for Ball Don't Lie to come in and get the return. And then Ball Don't Lie celebrates that return by boosting straight into the spike. It was a celebratory spike for a nice return. Meanwhile, Canadian working against Koala, who's sitting on the boost, and wonder if she's going to try to be risky here. And yeah, she takes a risk and goes off the back wall. It was nice looking, but it's going to allow Canadian to walk this one right in. So things starting to get a little bit out of hand. 6-1 in favor of the Knights of Capalot with 3.5 minutes left to go. The All Caps would have to really change things around in order to bring this one back under control. Canadian boosting back in the base, and Making Bacon does get that return. Ball Don't Lie with some very nice moves here. Oh, wow, that was still alive. Wow, that was some nice moves there from BDL against Canadian, but just not able to make it to the other side of the map. So 3 minutes left to go. I think both teams are kind of just starting to have fun with this and, play this game as a game, which it is. So Making Bacon's going to have that boost show up in time and be able to make a nice snipe. Both flags back in base, just under 3 minutes left to go. I'm excited. I want to click over and see what's going on with the other game. See whether or not this is significant or not. But the way things are going, it does look like Knights of Capalot, if they can just hold on here to their 6-1 lead, they will be securing themselves a spot in the playoffs. Looks like regardless of what happens. That tie in the first game was very important. If it had been a loss, they would have really had to worry about cap differential here. So Solf adding to the lead, now 7-1 in favor of the Knights of Capalot. Just under 2 minutes left to go. So an opportunity here for BDL. Nice blocks there from Koala and Bowtie against Solf. So Ball Don't Lie able to cap and bring this one to a 7-2 lead for the Knights of Capalot. Cut the deficit to 5. Still a minute and a half left to go, but it's not inconceivable, but it's pretty hard. And Solf gets a nice, fortunate rolling bomb, which spawns just in time. He's just going to sit on that flag tile and hope. But Bowtie able to evade Making Bacon's tag. Yeah, he's just not able to cap even with that rolling bomb. His defense not able to get that return, unfortunately. Oh, Sir Camelot was trying to turn the corner there and clip the spike in the meantime. Just under a minute left to go. Still a five cap deficit here for the all caps. So it does look like the Knights of Capalot are pretty much in the playoffs here, unless something really, really crazy happens. The all-important kept flag starts to come into mind at this point. How can I grab with 3 seconds left? How can I get out of base? Soft gets tracked down there by Koala, and looks like Bowtie is going to be able to take this one straight in. So nice job there by Bowtie. Now 7-3 lead for the Knights of Capalot with 8 seconds left.
3,
and that will do
2,
it. So
1.
congratulations to the Knights of Capalot, who, if I'm not mistaken, just secured themselves a spot in the playoffs. Nice game played by both teams here. Canadian had 11 returns in that half and 2 caps. Koala with 17 returns. I just want to comment on great defensive play from Koala. She's really been a significant add to the All Caps, who obviously have had to reshuffle things given their personnel changes. So Koala doing a great job there. So we'll let both of our teams say their GGs and try to get some comments from both of the captains. All right, so we should have interviews pretty quick here. Once they say their GGs and celebrate, it's nice to go into the locker room and drink some of the champagne. But at this point, just going to let them have that fun by themselves. Hopefully, we'll have the captains come up here. So I'll just drink my beer here for another minute. See how many viewers we wound up having on our Twitch chat. So we have 22 right now. Lots of raccoons. The raccoons are real in the chat. Very real raccoons. All right, so last few comments on the Velvet Merkin here. I still have maybe about half a bottle to drink, so I'll be drinking that well after this game's over. But 8.5% alcohol by volume. It's a little bit thinner than, if you've ever had like Bourbon County or something like that, where it's like a 12, 13, 14% beer. You're going to get a very different, like kind of like a hotness that comes off of it. This is sessionable. Like this is something where you can drink a couple glasses of it and you're not going to feel like completely wrecked or overwhelmed with the diabetes. The beatus. See what other comments. Only 3,500 cases produced per year. So all of these Firestone Walker barrel-aged beers, kind of a small quantity produced. So it's cool to be able to get more than one bottle. All right, might have to hunt some of these people down. Looks like they're all in here. All right, so hopefully we'll have our interviews in a second. Very excited to see what both teams have to say. So it looks like we have Ball Don't Lie here for the All Caps. I'll go ahead and move him in. All right, so Ball Don't Lie. Thanks for taking the time to join me. I do appreciate it. I guess
Yep.
Yas was busy, or
No, I'm just the official team captain.
you're the official team captain. Okay, all right. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, first off, wanted to say you guys played well today. I know that the result wasn't necessarily the best possible result, but what were your thoughts about the match today? You got some minutes there at the end. How do you feel?
Yeah, I thought we played pretty well as a team on thinking with portals, and it's just unfortunate that couldn't come out with the wins, but I think overall there was some solid play. It just didn't fall our way.
All right. And Yossarian, the all caps captain, has joined us. So Yossarian wanted to go ahead and ask you the same questions I just asked Ball Don't Lie, but I want to get like the official answers here. So how do you feel about the match?
Um, I had a lot of fun. Like, with all the drama going on this season, we know, like, since we kind of forfeited the games because we didn't want to replay them, this is like we knew we're like pretty much done. There was literally no way for us to like make it in no matter what happened. So it kind of just allowed us to have fun and not take anything too seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what I wanted to ask you about in my next question. So, obviously, as everybody I'm sure knows, there was some controversy this season. There was the botting, and obviously, you guys were put in an unfortunate position as a team where the decision was made that you would have to replay those games if your opponents wanted to, and you guys made the decision this week not to replay the games. Um, just kind of wanted to ask, how you feel about that decision and sort of what the thought process was behind choosing to not replay them.
Um, it's really like there's no short answer, but I'm gonna try to like give one. It's just we signed up to play 9 games in a regular season. Having us replay them, it kind of goes against that. But also, one of the biggest things is like my biggest point about the entire thing was when they, caught grease seeds, they banned him, suspended him for the rest of the season. The punishment should have ended there, in my opinion. Um, he's off the team. He's off out of the league. That should have been it. But by forcing us to replay games, the team, rest of the All Caps, are still dealing with the punishment, even though he's essentially not even affiliated with us anymore.
So obviously this is the last game of the season. You guys aren't going to be making the playoffs, but I just wondered, how do you feel in general about how the season went and how your players dealt with adversity in the face of, so much difficulty?
I mean, even though we had a lot of drama this season, the whole grief botting incident, playing with these guys is incredibly fun. I mean, I probably couldn't have asked to draft better players. Like, personality-wise, I've never really hated anyone. So as far as that goes, it's perfect.
How do you feel about, this will be my last question, but how do you feel about Koala's play, coming in as a late season ad?
She's incredible. She was, so as you know, we tried out Tyrus for a while on defense, and he's naturally an offender. So even though I feel like he and I played decent together, it's nowhere compared to how well Koala and myself played. She we worked very well together. I feel her play styles kind of worked perfectly.
All right. Well, Yossarian, Ball Don't Lie, thank you very much for joining us on Ranger Radio. Do appreciate your words, and
Yeah.
best of luck to both of you in your future TagPro career endeavors.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so thanks to the All Caps there. Now we will grab, who should we grab? So I'm just going to grab a handful of these guys.
I'm gonna bring you to the light. Oh. Hello.
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 Who else should I grab?
Cam
You want me to grab Cam and Solve?
and Solve and Making
And
Bacon.
Macon.
And making bacon. There we go. All right, great. So we do have the Knights of Capalot here in channel. So allow me to be among the first to congratulate you guys on locking up a playoff spot. We
Thank
were
you very much.
Thank you.
having some conversations. Well, when I say we, I mean I was literally talking to myself for the last hour, but having some conversations during the stream about the standings. So for our viewers, I'm just pulling up our standings and just to kind of refresh what we talked about earlier. Going into today's matches, the Knights of Capalot had 21 points, so a 3-point lead on KG Ballers for that sixth and final playoff spot. And so basically the story here today was you guys needed a win and a tie to lock things up, and you got yourselves a win and a tie. So how do you feel?
It feels great.
Absolutely.
It feels awesome.
So
I mean,
what do you guys think were the keys to the match today? I mean, you guys definitely played well on both maps. The Smirk game was a little bit more out of hand than Thinking with Portal's game. But what were the keys to your success today?
Keeping our eyes on the prize. Yeah, we were just wanted to make sure to wrap up the playoff spot. So we tied the first game, and we knew what we had to do in the second one. So we just focused extra hard, got the pups, and that's all she wrote.
All right. So going back to that first game, you guys were you're on Thinking with Portals. You were down 2 with about a minute and a half to go. You know that a win and a tie would lock things up for you. You know that if you were to say have a win and a loss, then it would come down to cap differential if the KG Ballers were to sweep. So, you're down 2. You got a minute and a half to go. All of that's in your head. What did you guys do to tie that game up?
I personally wasn't even thinking about the standings. I was just trying to do anything to win as many games as we could. Like, try to come back, win the first game so we don't have to put extra pressure on us to win the second game. But, I mean, it got us to a tie. But it drove us pretty well.
So, Solf commenting in the chat, getting the flag out of base, and they flaccid it, and we got lucky. So, Solf, you had some really great offensive performance today. I was wondering if you had any comments as far as, what you've done, during the season to, what you've been working on, and, what you think you've done well, getting a substantial amount of majors minutes.
Yep, playing a lot of TagPro helps Solve.
Wait, doesn't Solf have a mic?
No.
Well, I mean,
I
he
guess-
does. He's just mobile, so.
Yeah, he's got problems with his mic, so he only really uses it for games.
Oh, okay.
But Solf was an MLTP pickup or a free agent pickup. I forget. Anyways, we picked him up after like the great exodus of week 6 or week 5 or whenever it was. But yeah, no. Cam just has an eye for talent, I guess. He pubs and then just finds these good players, and he's like, "Oh, you want to play majors?" Because he can do that because he had spots available. So
Yeah.
credit to Cam, and Solf is awesome. So yeah,
So obviously, you know, every team that had anything to do with anything this year had difficulty. We had the botting scandal. We had, people who quit in mass droves. Obviously, the Knights of Capalot were a team that struggled a lot with the latter of those two situations. A lot of people leaving, including the captain. So I just kind of wanted to ask you guys, how do you feel, if you were to look 3, 4 weeks ago ahead to this point and, dealing with all this adversity, how do you feel getting yourselves into the playoffs at this point?
I don't think there's any words to describe it. I mean, losing like well over half your team is definitely hard, especially with as many talented players we had and how close we were as a team. But I probably back then, I wasn't sure if we'd even get to the playoffs at that point. We were pretty deflated. But no, the Majors team pulled it off, so I'm happy for them.
Right.
For me, honestly, it gave me a little bit of a chip on my shoulder just because I feel like once everybody saw that we lost such a big chunk of our roster, I don't think many teams gave us a chance still of competing.
yeah, it was a nice challenge. I don't know. Everyone sort of counted us out as soon as everyone left, and we're in. So
Yeah.
woot.
All right, you guys, congratulations. Oh, just a quick comment here from Solf. It's been a hard battle getting to the playoffs, but I feel next week is going to be a lot harder than most every game we played. So I'm sure that's true. You guys are, going into a very loaded field in the Eastern Conference. So best of luck to you guys in your playoff run, and pleasure to stream your match.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ranger.
Thanks for
Thanks for
streaming
streaming.
us.
You're very
Yes.
welcome.
Feels so professional. Holy shit.
Thanks, man. All right, guys. So signing off. Thanks for watching Ranger Radio, and we'll be back tomorrow for some minor league action. Have a great night.